Hi, I'm Sandy Jamison from the Jamison Team at Tuscana Properties, and today I'm going to talk with you about appraisals and steps that you can take to make sure that your house does appraise. And if it doesn't appraise, what are the steps you can take to make sure that you still get to the closing table? So what made me want to discuss this topic today? Well, we're going through an appraisal issue right now on a house that really should have appraised at value, but it didn't. So first of all, I want to make sure that your realtor shows up with the comps in hand when the appraiser is there to measure the house. And by the way, it's the buyer's mortgage company that sends out the appraiser, and that's a third-party company not associated with the mortgage company or the realtor. So the realtor typically does not have a relationship with the actual appraiser. So in this case, we met the appraiser at the property with the comps in hand. We gave them to the appraiser. However, the appraiser chose not to use our comps and used different ones instead, and then the house did not appraise. The comps he used were not the right comps, and he subtracted value for the condition of the home that shouldn't have been subtracted. And then he didn't add enough value for the superior location of the home because he was an out-of-area appraiser. So we basically went through and refuted everything on this appraisal report, and then we sent it back to the appraiser. However, it's very hard to get an appraiser to acknowledge any changes and change their minds once they've already sent in that appraisal report, unless there are clear black and white mistakes within the report. But we were also able to send it directly to the mortgage company lender for review and asked that the buyer then also apply for a second mortgage as a backup. See, it's often easier to just apply for a second mortgage, switch lenders. They can go through the paperwork super quickly, usually 7 to 10 days, and the buyers are now back on board with a new lender and a new appraisal because they really want the house. And sometimes that's what has to happen. The sellers were also on board with this strategy because obviously they wanted the deal to work out. They wanted to sell their home at the contracted price. So it's really important just to make sure that everybody's on board with the process. They know what's happening and why. So that the buyer understands that just because the house did not appraise by one appraiser does not mean that they're overpaying for the house. It's just one person's opinion of value. And oftentimes the appraiser is not from the local area and doesn't understand the nuances of the neighborhood compared to the others. So I just wanted to explain what you can do when your house doesn't appraise that you're trying to buy. Refute it, rebuttal the facts, and apply for a new loan with a different mortgage company. So there you have it. If you have any questions about this topic, don't hesitate to give me a call, reach out to our office, hit up our website, and I'd be happy to answer more questions about it. Thanks and have a great day.